Astonished, all sat silent for a space, silent for a space, silent for a space. You see. Now, normally we say silent for a moment, silent for a while, silent for a space. As if they are looking for some free space for movement or whatever you see, silent for a space. Now, a very beautiful description. Astonished, obviously. Why astonished? Because she has chosen somebody who is living in the forest, who is not a prince really at the moment and all that thing, and therefore astonished. Not only that, but also she is asserting that this is done. The firmness with which she is saying that, it is that which makes them astonished. Firmness. Yes, Savitri has chosen that thing, firm. Silent for a space. Now, for a space is a very typical Victorian phrase. Silent for a space. In English poetry, it occurs at a few places. Silent for a space. I have got two examples here from Tennyson in the poem The Lady of Shalott. I'm just quoting two lines from that. Died the sound of royal cheer. Well, jubilation or whatever there. They died the sound of royal cheer, but Lancelot mused a little space. Means for a while, in that sense. She mused for a little. While the jubilation, etc., had calmed down, she is still musing, thinking, contemplating for a little time. You see. Then in Keats' Hyperion, there is a phrase, none answered for a space. None answered for a space, you see. Means for a while, for a moment, you see. Hyperion, Keats' Hyperion of that. None answered for a space. There is a kind of finality in that. Absolutely final, finality. Her choice is absolutely final. She heard a call, she obeyed her heart. This is done. The mother says, Mother knew about her divinity at an early age, that she was somebody exceptional, somebody who had come down here. Even as a girl, very small girl, young girl, she knew her divinity. She was fully aware of it. The mother knew about her divinity at an early stage. Perhaps Shaivendu did not know his divinity at that young age of mother. He came to know about the divinity much later. You see, there was a veil around him, and it remained there around him while he was in England all the while, 14 years. But the moment he stepped down from the ship on the land, Apollo Bandar, Bombay, suddenly that veil got removed. Suddenly, that was at the age of 21 or so. It is perhaps at that time then he realized something exceptional in him. Until then, the veil was there fully seen. Now, Savitri also knew about her divinity inwardly, and it is because of that perception of her that she is making this statement, this is done. This is done. In fact, we have seen the passages when Savitri and Satyavan are talking to each other, how, at what level they are exchanging their words, you see. In other words, in the case of Savitri, her full divinity, she recognized her full divinity the moment she met her lover. The moment she met her lover, she recognized her full divinity, and then she says, "This is done. This is done." Astonished, all sat silent for a space. Then Ashwapati looked within and saw a heavy shadow float above the nave, chased by a sudden and stupendous light. He looked into his daughter's eyes and spoke, "Well hast thou done, and I approve that choice." Now, here we have a heavy shadow float above the name. The moment she uttered the word Satyavan, what Ashwapati sees is a thick dark cloud floating above the name. There's a heavy shadow above the name. Now, because Ashwapati is a yogi and he could immediately recognize behind what was happening, you see. The moment she said, Satyavan, suddenly the whole picture stands clear in front of him. It is not because of Nara's ominous statement, but because of his yogic perception of things, he sees a heavy shadow float above the name. While the shadow is there above the name, he also notices stupendous light chasing that name. Yes, the shadow is there, but the shadow is also being chased immediately, suddenly, by stupendous light. So both the aspects are immediately described here. In fact, the entire story of Savitri from this point onward is kind of summarized in these two lines. See, a heavy shadow above the name and a sudden stupendous light chasing it. See. We are of course very wise people and we immediately say that, oh yes, the shadow, yes, that is death. And stupendous light, yes, that is Savitri's divine soul who is following her, the Supreme who is protecting her in all the circumstances. He looked into his eye, into his daughter's eyes. Psychologically, this is important. He is straightway looking into her eyes. She is addressing to him, Father, I have chosen. This is done. And with that yogic vision, he is looking into the eyes of his daughter. In other words, he is transmitting through that look the power which he has into her soul. Into her soul. Daughter's eye and spoke, Well hast thou done, and I approve thy choice. Now, well hast thou done in the context of the shadow being chased by stupendous light. You may not be knowing what is involved, but I see now that what you have chosen is wonderful, is beautiful. This is done, well hast thou done. And I approve the choice. This is a little difficult verb. Approve. I mean, Savitri says, I have chosen, it's done. So the question of his approval or not approval.
Maybe it's the tradition that father has to give the final approval.
Yeah, but she doesn't care now whether you approve or not.
But still, he is doing his duty of giving.
Yeah, by way of duty, yes, but no, it is not in the sense of duty also. It is in the sense of the shadow being changed by stupendous light. It is that approve is a shadow chase stupendous. Something extraordinary, something supernatural is involved in the whole thing. And therefore, I approve the choice in the context of the supernatural things. I mean, she wouldn't care whether you approve or not. She says, I had done, chosen, finished. Approve the choice. Now, well, I mean, that is the contextual way. The other way of looking at it is when Ashwapati had told to Savitri 98.53. Ashwapati is telling to Savitri, one force shall be your mover and your guide. He is telling her, look, you have to find out your own life's partner. You go, move all around the world and discover one. And in that context, he tells her, one force shall be your mover and your guide. One light shall be around you and within. Hand in strong hand, confront heaven's question, life. Confront heaven's question, life. Challenge the ordeal of the immense disguise. He has already told her, ascend from nature to divinity's heights. Face the high gods, crowned with felicity. Then meet a greater God, thyself beyond time. Beyond. This is what Ashwapati is telling to his daughter. And it is in that context, he says, yes, what you have done is, well hast thou done. What you have done is wonderful. And this statement, heavy shadow float, is a kind of a corroboration of that. Heaven's question you have to answer. It is in that context, what you have done is something wonderful, it's something great. And therefore, I approve. I approve not as a father, but as one who has some kind of a spiritual capacity in him. It is that, with that, he says, I approve it. In other words, he is blessing her. He is immediately blessing her. What you have chosen? Yes, Tatastu. My Ashirvad is there, my blessings are there. Well hast thou chosen. That is the mantra which has sunk in her ears, and it is with that mantra she goes from place to place constantly, moving all around. He looked into his daughter's eyes and spoke, well hast thou done, and I approve that joy. In fact, in the context of what Savitri has said, this is done, he cannot but approve. See, when she says, this is done, I mean, even the human plane, he cannot but say approve. Yes, okay, go ahead. You see. Well hast thou done, and I approve the choice. If this is all, then all is surely well. If there is more, then all can still be well. Now, this is the assurance, this is the yogic certitude which very cautiously Ashwapati is giving by saying, if this is all, then all is surely well. Yes, this is all. It means that yes, this is all. And therefore, all is surely well. If there is more, then all can still be well. Now, so this is in the context of the shadow which he is seeing. He does not know what exactly the sequence of events will be, how things are going to happen. He simply says, a thick shadow floating over the name of Satyavan, and the shadow being chased by light, stupendous light. If this is all, well, it means that is a good thing. Go ahead, did what you insist it will. Then all can still be well. Now, this has to some extent the context of the cautious statement of Narad. Savitri is living in a world of dream and she is safe in the world of dream, but she has not met the god of pain yet. She has to meet the god of pain also. You see. Whether it seem good or evil to men's eyes, only for good the secret will can well. Only for good the secret will can work. Now, well, this is a good way, so to say, of consoling oneself. Although you may not agree with the thing, it's a good way of saying perhaps everything will happen. Mother will take care of everything. You see, that's a good way of consoling oneself, basically. It also means that you have to prepare for that will to work. The secret will can work. If the secret will can work, secret will has to work. In other words, you have to be ready to accept the secret will. You must be prepared to accept the secret will. Then only all will be good. Now, whether it seem good or evil to men's eyes. Now, why is he talking about men's eyes? Now he is talking about supernatural event, a heavy shadow, stupendous light, and fate, and all that kind of a thing. Who cares about what men's eyes see? Why worry at all about that? Now, this is whether it seems good or evil to men's eyes, because what will man understand from this whole episode which we got so far? He will simply understand that, look, she is a princess, very beautiful, very handsome, very wise, and all that kind of a thing. And look what she has done. She has chosen a boy who is living in jungles, in forests. So, in the eyes of men, this is the contrast. She is a person who is living in a palace and she has chosen somebody who is not really worth, who is not equal to her at all. So, that is good or evil for man. In the common understanding of our human nature, it looks ridiculous. How can that be? You see. So he says, whether it seems good or evil to men's eyes, only for the secret will can work. Our destiny is written in double terms. Through nature's contraries, we draw near God. Out of the darkness, we will grow to light. Now, this is something with the touch of the Greek philosophy. Destiny, nature, darkness, light, all the touch is fate, how it works. It is a touch of Greek philosophy. The Indian psychology would not easily accept that. He says it is written in double terms. Outwardly, it may look to us something not very happy, something incompatible. This princess marrying an exiled boy. That is one aspect of destiny, so to say. But there is another will which is behind that thing, the double will which is there, which is working for a different cause, for a different purpose, has a different objective altogether, which the human conception is not capable of recognizing or understanding. Through nature's contraries, we draw near God. Out of the darkness, we still grow to light. Death is our road to immortality. This is a little too early for Ashwapatis to say. Yeah.
Sorry, could you explain once more why Indian philosophy, or what is it that Indian philosophy would not easily accept?
For any?
What you said, this is too difficult for Indian philosophy to accept.
Yeah, Indian philosophy doesn't accept the double game. It goes only by one aspect. It is more of Greek mythology, where the action of man and the action of gods are interwoven. Are interwoven. Actually, as we shall see, the Greek gods are also bound by the power of fate. They are not exempt from fate. Ananki is more powerful than the will or action of gods. It is she who decides everything, necessity. But here, when it comes to cosmic working, there is always the double play of the individual and the cosmic. The individual deciding something in one way, and the cosmic forces are operating for their own cause, for their own objective, for their own aim, simultaneously. So, in that sense, they get interwoven, and therefore, it is written in double terms. To us, on the human level, it may appear that this is something not a very happy choice made by Savitri. If you see the outward facts as they are, it's not a very happy choice. She is a princess and she has chosen somebody who lives in the forest. See, that itself is not acceptable to the common mind, common psychology. See. But behind that, there is something deeper that man does not understand. Therefore, the double terms are there. Out of the darkness, we still grow to light. Well, the summary of the statement is here: death is our road to immortality. Now, I don't know whether from what is already narrated so far in the entire episode here, that narration would admit this conclusion of Ashwapati. Death is our road to immortality. It is not warranted from what has been described. Why is he talking of death, our road to immortality? Suddenly, what has been described so far does not warrant this particular statement, you see. It does not warrant. Pardon me?
How does he know death is important?
Yeah. But he is now leaping forward. Ashwapati is jumping 100 miles at once, you see, ahead. Because he is a yogi. He has seen a shadow float and stupendous light. He has seen something of that. And it is in that context he sees something very deep, something ominous. Although Narad has not spoken so far about death at all in his speech, but he is jumping now. He is, with his yogic knowledge of things, he is in that sense quite well placed to make this statement. Death is our road to immortality. Yes, it is a death. Even that is a welcome death. And it is through that death we shall have immortality, deathlessness. It is. Now, in the context of the narrative, this is understood. Death is our road to immortality. In the entire episode which has come so far, we can therefore understand why he is seeking that. But from a purely spiritual metaphysics, from the point of view of spiritual metaphysics, death is our road to immortality. If I take the sentence out of the entire context, it is loaded with enormous meaning. By itself, death is our road to immortality can stand. Without that context, it is not immortality. But this sentence by itself has enormous knowledge packed in it. Now, this is a recurrent theme in Savitri, and Savitri also says at one place that until now, life only was my pursuit, but I have really understood the meaning of life with the help of death. Life alone is what I had recognized. I think we have seen that chapter, that section earlier. Yeah, alone was there. Death is the one who helps you to grow. Death is a kind of a blessing in that sense. Is a mechanism to make things grow, to make things progress, take forward. Without death, we would have been static. Would have remained as they are, foolish, stupid, ignorant, miserable, whatever you want to call them, you see. Would have remained that. But it is because of death that. So this is a very paradoxical statement also, that death leads to immortality.